Don needed a half an hour for his.
You can do it, Don.
There goes a minute. But the far side or the back side?
Looks like the backside from
I think
here.
it's the back side, yeah, I think you're right there. Look at the size of his comb he's sticking out of the back pocket though, eh?
What do you think he's gonna be talking about?
I'm envious.
Fishing.
Yes, I agree there. I think he was-
The art of humor.
Oh, you cheated. You went back to your classification talk.
It's not supposed to be.
How long ago would that have been?
15 years ago.
Oh, okay, things have
Wow.
changed.
That's not
I
cheap,
mean,
man.
50 years ago, we called this a classification dog. You want to call it the other side, that's fine. Yeah, so I thought it'd be fun for me to share the first classification dog, and then I'll share the second one.
Oh, that's
So I'll go
good.
through it fairly quickly because I only got 20 minutes. And I think if I just click this button, it should go. Yeah, so there was a personal history part of it. Hopefully you guys can see that, but I'm just going to sneak through this.
1955 you were born. So what does that make you?
68.
Older than me.
67.
I'll be 68. Anyway, so I had a few pictures about her family, 2 daughters, my wife, where we were born, and all that sort of stuff.
Where are these?
I think, various things. The one on the right is Lake Louise, I think, and the picture skiing, I think that was Banff, and if I'm not mistaken, we were up in the clouds there. And then the other pictures, my daughter and I did a half marathon about, 12 years ago or something.
Okay.
So
You
that was us
finished?
crossing the finish line.
You finished?
Yeah, I did finish.
The next day.
And then a little bit on education, continuing education.
Wow.
Wow.
Professional development seminars.
Smart man.
Want to know this stuff here. And then one of the community things I did, I guess, before I joined was the largest omelet in the world. I don't know if you remember that years ago,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we did the design for that and had a bunch of people help build it. And Brent Clapp was pretty involved with that too at that time. And thought that was good fun. That's where I met Brent. He's the one obviously introduced me to Rotary. So, and work history. So I guess I've had 3-4 careers. I worked as an electrician. I worked as a manager at Procter & Gamble, and then I worked as an engineer, PL engineering, and then I started off myself as DVDG engineering. It's been 30 years now for that too. So. And then, I'll take you through a few pictures of kind of stuff we've done as an engineering firm. These are some of the machines we built. The one on the right is a painting machine that was for Bob Harper. Yeah, that's right. Tim and I were involved with that too. So, the other thing is inspection station for curtains for new window version. They're no longer there. The other thing is a panel injection press, if you will, and then we did a roll loader for P&G on the left, and the other thing was just a proposal. But anyway, just some interesting things, I guess. Typical plant process. Agitator blade we made for Elcan, or not made, but we designed. Industrial controls, and we do a lot of this today. These are all old. We do the same thing, kind of stuff. Burner controls. We did some robot safety stuff for Hershey. You can see those great big bars of chocolate.
Yeah.
I used to go to Hershey and have the chocolate store, so we did projects in the early 2000s, and
Yeah.
I'd go and buy $70 worth of chocolate and hide it in the house and then eat it all. The wife and the girls found it in one of the drawers of our drawing file, so I got found out. But anyway, I don't do that anymore.
You don't go to Tweet and get
Those are good brownies.
Bottom drawer.
A health bar manufacturer, and then we do power systems, 44-volt kV. We did lighting design for the museum at St. Lawrence, and street lighting and stuff. You know, boiler upgrade, that was, I think, I think that's the Athens High School, if I'm not mistaken. Might be, yeah. You know, heating, ventilation, lighting, upgrades to facilities. You know, we do building condition audits. That's a regional now. That way back then. Now it's private. You know, some of the interest back then, I don't think it's changed that much, but you can see Brent and Rake and I were fishing with them at the South Lake, hiking up on the Blue Mountain, and you know, and then there was this Mississippi River. There was a place there that we went. Lots of nice falls there by Ragged Chute. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not, but it's a nice spot. And then, you know, I'm happy. I'm you know, blessed to be where I live. It's got beautiful views, and so, you know, that was you know, I feel very fortunate to be able to live there. And I bought it when the interest rates turned down and got a good deal, and, you know, stayed there ever since, and probably want to stay there for the rest of my life too. And then the left side is where we rebuilt the cottage that I bought in 83, and we rebuilt that in 92, because that's when we had four family members in one bedroom, got kind of much, so we lifted the one side of the house off and then rebuilt what's on the bottom left and right, I guess. And we continue to do more work, like under part of the deck there is now all finished in offices, and I'll show you some other things here too, I guess. You know, we were rebuilding the dock. It's got to be rebuilt again. Started that, I probably built that, I don't know, 37 years ago or something, and it's starting to really break down now. Left side is the office where we work, in which we converted our garage into office space. And then, you know, we're always boating, and I'll have a bunch of pictures there, but we're usually puttering around, enjoying the scenery, exploring. But the left side is, they had a Pirates Week at A Bay, and you have pistols or guns or whatever, and shoot water at each other's boats. And, but some guys get really ingenious. They put the big fire pumps on the back of the boat, and they spray it. One time there was this couple of young lads in a boat. They were following us around, and they didn't seem to bother, but my dog and the kids and that, and we just got drenched. And I was almost ready to jump out of my boat and jump into their boat. Anyway, most of the time it was fun though. Had to avoid a collision sometimes. Yeah, and then I showed my collection of cars, I guess. So, you know, the one on the left is the 1970 Camaro that I had bought in 75, and then in 79 I decided to take it apart and clean it up, but I didn't stop. You know, oh, there's rust there, take that apart. Oh, there's rust there. And so finally I had no car at all except for a body and no wheels, fenders, anything. And so I sandblasted, undercoated it, and then started building it back up. And I even tried to make a Corvette out of a Camaro. So I raked the front end, I made a tilt front end, and 3-inch dual exhaust, and rebuilt the motor, 4-bolt main, you know, all that sort of stuff. And then I started working at P&G, and I could afford a Corvette, so then I lost interest. And I wish I still had that car today, though. But
Yeah.
to finish it. But anyways, so then I had the 79 Corvette, and then an 84 Corvette, and then an 06 Corvette, and
Wow.
I still want to get an 09, another Corvette. But anyway, that's another. But anyway, that was kind of fun to show. And then, you know, we've traveled various places. I try to go back to the Netherlands every 10 years.
Do you see relatives when you go back?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Aunts, uncles?
Yeah. No, I have family back there. I try to visit there. So that's okay. So now I'll flip over to the next one. This is classification.
Why do they call it classification?
So this is the updated one.
Rotary is very focused on what their business was, and so classification is usually
Top
business
two.
life. You know, just talk about your whole life.
Okay, this is the other side.
You know, what you did as your job, and also your
So this is starting when I was 2 years old. Even then, I was in the doghouse, you know. And, so I don't know if you can recognize it me, but anyway.
I recognize the legs. Look at that.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
I've seen him in shorts. I've seen him
Here's,
in shorts.
my mother was a seamstress, so she always was teaching us stuff. So we were learning to darn socks here. So you can see that's my sister and I, and this is the house in North Augusta. I think I was born in Spencerville, actually, or we lived initially a couple of years in Spencerville. But the funny kind of thing here is that I have the sock draped over a toy ship of a Laker, and and now I see the Laker go by every time, every day. So it's kind of ironic, but yeah.
So can we bring our socks to you and you'll darn them?
I've lost that skill.
Good decision. You sent them home
There's
with
some
new
different
holes.
looks again, from different facial hair, and thought that'd be kind of neat.
Mustache, no mustache.
Really? You look like that? That's you?
Yeah, that's me.
Holy
Yeah.
horse.
When I was at Procter & Gamble, I had the handlebar mustache.
Barbershop.
That doesn't even look like him from this angle.
And then when I was 13, 15 or 16, we had a snack bar in North Augusta, so I was cooking hamburgers and grilled cheese, and there's a pinball machine, jukebox. I don't remember the Rolling Stones was pretty popular back then. And that's when we had real snowstorms. We shoveled all these by hand,
Yeah, look at that.
and you can see how high the piles are. And
Yeah.
so yeah.
Who are
So
the people?
Oh, that's my dad and my sister,
Okay.
and I guess our dog. Yeah.
Very good.
And then this has got a bit of a story. So after graduation from college, I couldn't find a job, so I went to Holland for 5 months, or Netherlands by 5 months. And then a friend of mine from Canada, Jim, he flew down, and we spent 2 weeks running around the Riviera in Southern Europe. And so I bought that Volkswagen bus from a friend of mine's father. And in preparation for the trip, I had to make a bunk there so we could put a mattress in. And then I was also tuning up the engine, and I was setting up the timing, put new plugs in or something, and I had to put a needle-nose pair of pliers in the carburetor to take the choke off, and it backfired on me and caught fire.
Oh.
So I still have the it still work too. In fact, we were using it on my construction project. You've all seen it.
What, I'm not holding my hair with that.
So so and then I sold the Volkswagen again. While I was there, I lived with various relatives. I know my one aunt had a antique store, so I painted the facade of that, and then the neighbor across from the town wanted their facade painted, and then I ended up working with a technical group, and I was delivering fridges and helping wiring street lights, as I recall, or traffic light, signal lights, I think it was. So even then I was doing electrical stuff. So yeah, that was a neat experience. There's lots of pictures I could have showed here, but I think we slept one night at the foot of the tower of the Paris.
I got that.
Oh, there goes a mink on the ice. But anyway, so yeah, we were at the topless beaches and wanting to take a camera and take a picture, but we didn't want to because then we feel like we were nerds trying to take pictures of people topless. But anyway, there were many interesting times there for sure. This is me at EBA Forest Products, and they gave me an award for getting the trade certificate, and I never was really that thrilled about it, so I think that shows through here. They wouldn't really recognize your college degree, so anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there. That's some of the old electrical gear behind me there. And then a few caricatures. I guess I was dressed up as Fonz at one point. And then on the right side is Super Duck, and I actually had that set up so the beak would move up and down as I talked, although it would be negative, so when I opened the mouth it would close. But anyways, I went to Ottawa and went to a Halloween contest, and I got beat out by a couple of crayons. That was pretty good fun.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, there's another picture of the house before we rebuilt it there.
Look at all the cars.
Yeah, that was my Corvette and my friend's Corvette. We both bought ones at the same time, so that was fun. And this has got a bit of a story to it too. This is on Heidi's birthday. it was a bit of a surprise. I picked up my parents from North Augusta, and we went to the Balticon in Merrickville, and while we're driving in, Heidi says, "Oh, look, there's my brother, Roger," and he's dressed in his sport jacket, and she said, "Why is he doing here?" But anyway, she never caught on. And then once we got into the restaurant, then her father and everybody came in, so then she realized it was a surprise birthday party. But then there was another surprise, so I had given her a gift with an outer box, and then the inner box was a GE light bulb box, and inside that was a jewelry box with a engagement ring. But so that was a big surprise, and unfortunately, she didn't surprise me by saying no. So. And there's a photograph of the wedding of my older sister and Heidi and I. So. And then, I was trying to be super dad here too. So I'm trying to conduct business and read a report and childcare at the same time. And of course, you should sleep at the same time as a child does too. So I was doing that too. And then we had a baby shower after the second one, and they gave me a full body condom. So. And then there was a change table going each of the kids, so many smelly diapers, but so I thought I'd try that on for size. And then, there's Heidi and I went to a summer party in the winter, so that was us on the left side, and the other side is me as Beauty. So.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast, right? Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a family picture at Christmas, so yeah. And then this is the helicopter Bill Fox was flying when he dropped by my dock to tell me that he wasn't coming to my cornrows that night. So the SARTAC is just being hosted back up here again. But I may have mentioned that sometime along the way, but here's an actual picture of proof.
Oh my God, that's cool.
And I was also, what do you call it? I spoke at the college.
Valedictory?
Yeah. But anyways, did that. Then I was also president of Toastmasters, so that got in the paper. Steve Parker was presenting somebody who won the speaker award there. And that's my first boat, touring around. But you asked me about boats, so I'm going to have quite a bit about that here. That's the second boat with the girls. And my neighbor was really good there. He sold me that boat for about half price. I said, you're doing that, right? Oh yeah, that's fine. So we had that for 10 years and had a lot of fun. The kids always give me grief because I didn't buy another boat with a bow rider. And they've finally gotten over that. And there we are touring around in the boat. And that's the second boat I bought. I bought off of eBay. I was not purposely, but I was experimenting with a software called Auction Skype, which puts your bid in right at the last second. So I lowballed an offer on this, and I went off and did my business, and I came back from a trip to Kingston or something, and I noticed that my bid had taken, so I bought this boat. So I had to say, "Hey Heidi, I bought a boat." But I got it for a real good price, and we had to go to Cleveland, almost to Cleveland, to pick that up, and it had low hours on it, and then I sold it in about a year or so, I think, and made some money on it. Then that third boat, it had low hours. We picked that up in New Jersey, and that's a 28-foot checkmate, so it's a pretty fun boat. But it had a single screw, or it was never that good to handle in the wind, so. And then we had a couple of Sea-Doos for a year, but we found we didn't use them that much, and they're expensive to insure, and fuel economy not very good. So I was trying to sell one of them, but somebody wanted both, and then never got around to buying another one. So. And then this is the prize boat, I guess.
Let's go down Philo.
Tequila. It's a 38-foot ZR Donzi. But I actually bought it with the engine and drives and pieces there. So, and I actually bought it sight unseen as well, because it was at a liquidation company in Florida, and I had gotten to know a Mindy from Dollar Offshore Marine, because we were looking at Heidi and I were looking at another boat. I put a bid on it, and then while we were to the airport to go see her, we were called, the buyers changed their mind, so would you mind you know, we don't go ahead with the deal, and, you know, she'll pay for my airline flight. So Heidi went down, looked at the boat, and got to know her a little bit. So for this one, I just asked her to go down the road 5 minutes and have a look at it, and she gave me a pretty good rundown of what it was about, and then she did quite a bit of work to put the engine back together, and did a bunch of other stuff too. So it came back as a mechanically running boat. But not to say that a few years later, these things are high power, so the motors don't last that long. So I took the top ends of both engines off and redid them. And you may recall I said that they, you know, after a couple of turns, they both started up, and all that was left over was a couple of bolts. So. Pretty good line back then. But,
Exactly.
okay, so then I want to show you something else here.
I tell you.
This is a video. It's to music. I don't know why that- Anyway, it's unfortunately, it's not the music, but I won't get into that. But so Dara had some friends over. And it's a bit spotty because of the internet, I see. But Dara had some friends over, and he had just got a new drone, and he put this all to music. It's on YouTube, and it's of their weekend and the things that they did. So that's the riverside of the house, the stairs going down. You know, the boat in action, and you could. Too bad you can't hear it, but anyway, there's a sound that goes with that. So that's the dock, and you can see all the waterside stuff here. But, yeah, after I rebuilt the engine of the boat, I was able to get 86 mile an hour out of it.
Jeez.
So that's fast on water, but that boat was pretty stable. I mean, my other boat, the boat I have now, seems less stable at lower speeds, much lower speeds. So,
Very good.
I think that's it. But it's too bad it's not by music in there, but anyways, probably spotty anyways.
That's a great finish.
Yeah, it could almost be an advertisement for tourism, actually, it's that well done. I think,
No fish.
this way.
Oh.
It's coming.
Oh, how do I do that now?
This must be the end.
Okay, I can still tap through this. So this gives you a better size how big the boat is compared to the car and the house, so.
Holy
Whoa.
I didn't even realize that the car size.
Takes a lot to clean it and wash it down.
Pull that with the net?
Yeah, the boat.
Beauty. Okay, thank you. Okay. So that's a picture of us. I did go on a 2012 poker run with it, and that had story in itself. I discovered a leak in the boat. Somebody had drilled a hole to mount an amplifier and put a small plug in it, but that plug blew out when we were hitting the waves, you know. So then I kept taking water on, and Marika was bailing, and we were wondering what was going. So finally, I just take it out of the water. But anyway, we also ran out of gas just in front of because I thought I'd had a half a tank, so I thought I could make it from Kingston to Gilbert. So afraid to. But I didn't quite make it. I was a kilometer short, so one of the marshals had to pull my boat in. I didn't really get to have much of a lunch. We were all in here and had to take off. And that was also here that My Way crashed on. And that's us in the boat. And Dara joined me for the first leg of the trip to Rockville, and Rake on the back plane. So it was kind of fun to have them there. At the beginning of the run, I was a little wary of how being in amongst all the other boats. But once you get used to the boat, I was doing 65 here, but I think on the way back I was doing more like 75 miles per hour. That's us in front of Rockville coming through here. Somebody took a picture from shore. That's the crew that we had, and we also got one we all had blue life jackets on, so we won the best dress crew award. So the day before, Curtis and I had gone and bought all these orange T-shirts, just safety shoes, $7 a piece or something, and yeah, so that's another neat memory. And then we went out in the islands there one of the last years and had a lot of fun with that. And so again, you know, we love spending time on the river. And then of course we have 2 dogs. That's Tia, and I'll have a little more about her. And then we got Carly here. So they enjoyed being on the boat as well. Fortunately, they're not with us anymore. So when I sold the big boat, I bought this one for the neighborhood for $2,000 and spent about 8 hours fixing it up. And I think I sold it for 13 or something. But
Putty Holmes boat.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris Putty.
yeah. But it's poor in mileage, so he never went out anywhere. And you know, I go to the other side. Anyway, just go down, you know, 5 kilometers of road and back, and that's $50 of gas. So you know,
Yeah, that's why he sold it.
well, I sold it to a guy who lives on the lake who isn't going anywhere, and he can just take the kids around and stuff. The boat's good for that. It's actually quite a nice boat to be on top of. But
To go anywhere, you know.
that's Heidi and I turn around on it. That's the boat I have now. It does no longer have those Yamaha engines because one of the motors was blown when I bought it. The guy wouldn't come good for it, so I took him to small claims court and I got $6,000 for a rebuild on an engine on it. But I ended up, you know, getting 2 200 horsepower engines from Vancouver. I bought some rigging from Florida. I bought a video thing from Florida and a fish finder from Florida. So I got it all plugged in and working, and yeah, it all surprisingly all worked together. I had to buy a few other parts too, but that was a bit of a challenge, but it was fun to do too. This is us touring around in the boat. That's Heidi and I attended the Hill Island Hootenanny this summer, and Catherine isn't here, but her husband, I think, organized a lot of that. And it's Chris Hum who plays the entertainers. That was good fun. Hope to do that again this summer, and I encourage anybody else to do that too, I guess. So. Yeah, Heidi and I turn around again. You can see the Mercury's on the back there. And then of course we travel once in a while. And the dogs are with us, and we hike, and the dogs are with us. And this is a bit of a story too. It's another time Heidi's birthday. She had always said to me, I wouldn't mind getting a watercolor, original from Bifinco. So I did find one that I liked, and we were going to a vacation at Crotch Lake for a week, I think, at a cottage with the brother-in-law's family as well. And so I sort of snuck into the cottage before she got in there and hung this up on the wall. And so she walked by it for about 3 days and said she did comment a couple times, that's a nice watercolor. And I don't know if she noticed it was like from Bilinco or not. But anyway, so on the night of her birthday, I said, "Oh, your present's hanging on the wall there." So, so that was good fun that she commented on it. And but yeah,
That's good.
and this is pretty neat too. This is a video from a dog. So most dogs play fetch, but this dog plays catch. Oh, too bad you can't hear her bark. But anyways, and again the video's kind of screwed up, but you can see that she bounces the ball back at me. Again, she's barking every time I get the ball in my hand.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Me catching it or her throwing it?
Not just the dog.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, be careful, there's not, you got
Oh, yeah, you got the bag down there.
we don't need you to track her.
Okay, there's Dara's playing, riding her broomstick here on a game for, what is it, Hogwarts? I can't remember the name of the game, but I meant to figure that out. But anyway, so she's flying around there playing that game. So. Actually, I think what she did is she jumped up and took a picture.
Oh, wow.
So it's not trick photography. There's no photoshopping in that. So I thought that was a pretty neat photo. And the girls are clowning around here. I think it's one of their graduations, I recall. Heidi and I did go to the Pocono to visit, see one of the NASCAR races, and I had since been to Daytona. So I'm a bit of a NASCAR fan, I guess, so try to keep up on what's going on with that. And of course, we're skiing. This is at Mont Massif, I think. It's always been a family dish to do some skiing. So Heidi and the girls, I don't think Heidi's skiing anymore now though. But and then there was another family we would ski with sometimes. This is at Mont Tremblant. And then there's a group of guys that go skiing, and we're going to go again here in March. This is again at Mont Massif. So again, we have fun with that. We were on the islands of Toronto, so it was a traditional picture with the CN Tower in the back. And then this is a bit of a project I undertook back in 2011, before I bought the big boat. I found a lift system with that had bought the posts and the lift beams and the H-beams and stuff. But I had to assemble it together and make it a bolt-on system. And then I took it beam by beam down to the water on the ice and reassembled it, and then cut the ice with a chainsaw and dropped it down to where it is today still. So I did that all by myself. I didn't have any help. So you can see here I'm lifting up one of the lift beams on top with a couple of winches. And so stuff I was messing around with in 2000. And this is a hockey team where my teammates were good enough to win the championship, because I'm never good enough, but it's the only team that I ever did. And then the girls, the closest they ever came to hockey is trying out my sweaty hockey gear, so they were having fun with that. But I probably play 75 games a year here.
Wow.
I play 3 games a week, so I do put some miles on. We lost last night traditionally again. And then of course, and then I was dressed up as Captain Obvious here at one of the galas, and also as Mr. Adams. And then Rake and I took a 3-day tour through, or a canoe trip through Algonquin Park. I'd never done that before. So she offered to do that, and so we went around the High Falls area, so that was good fun. And then with Dara, I think about 5 years ago, we went to the Cannonball Crush, so it was a 5-kilometer obstacle course. So she's right behind me here, and so I was able to keep ahead of her. And then I sort of kept the same pace, and then I was getting near the finish line. I heard a commotion behind, turned back, then I hear she's sprinting to try to get by me. So then I had to start sprinting, and we crossed the line dead even. So
Perfect.
And then Dad still has to brush her hair every once in a while. But when she was younger, she didn't have a wine glass in her hand though. And then I did buy an excavator a couple of years ago to clean up the back lot, so I could build a building. I eventually wanted to use it to help me with the waterfront construction. But and then this is the status of the building that I'm building. I got all the framing up, and hopefully we'll get the sheet metal on later this spring. That's been kind of the focus of construction projects. I also bought this electric lift a few months ago, so I can do this work. But also, I never get the leaves off the top of my roof, and my roof's steel, so you slide down it. So I figured I'll get safe and get one of these things. So. And then the fish, right? That was last year. Went out with Brent and Ed, and yeah.
So who caught that?
I did. On my old rod.
Old rod, yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
That's good.